Hi, my name is Kondo, and this is my Presby story. So I connected with Satoru Sensei first, and uh, it was probably almost 10 years ago that Satoru Sensei's son, Toa-kun, and my daughter, Aoi, was in the same class or same grade at the Japanese school. So there was an event at the Japanese school, and I still remember it was in a Samamish high school gym that there was a New Year event, and somehow I was standing right next to Satoru Sensei, and that was the first time I met him, and I was surprised that he told me that he's a pastor, and you never see a Japanese pastor that much, and especially in US. So, and then that was the first time I met with Satoru Sensei. We did not come to church right away, even though we knew him. And it was probably 4 or 5 years later when my wife Yuka uh, was looking for a church where she can receive message in Japanese. And she was looking for it, and she now remembered that Satoru Sensei was there, so she went there. And so Yuka was the first in our family to join Presby. And then the first message, I don't remember the details, but the first message she heard in Japanese by Satoru Sensei was just spot on what she needed, and that was the big connection, and it was like it just stuck to her. And then we were at a different church that time because we live in Olympia. Uh, uh, Seattle was a little far to come, but because of the message was so deeply moving her, we decided to move the entire family to Presby, and that was the first time, and that's probably 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember exactly, but I still remember when Yuka came back home and started talking about how the message was, how the church was, and we were deeply moved at the same time, and it's something clicked that this is it, and we realized that that was the God's words that we heard. So that's how we got connected with Presby, and it's been 4 or 5 years now, and we're very happy to be here. One of the yeah, it was very interesting conversation when Presby had a hard time, but it also matched when COVID started, and we were separated and not meet each other, and it was through a Zoom meeting a lot of times, Zoom service, Zoom meeting, and we just couldn't see each other closely, and everything was virtual. Um, and that was a hard time. And I know some family had to leave the church, and some family remained and stayed at Presby. But through COVID, of course, it might be through Pastor Satoru, but he developed a lot of different ways to connect. And one thing that is still continuing is a weekly um, a Bible study with one of the members, and who's actually not a member, but one of the family that I really wanted to connect with. And that simultaneously started with Zoom. And because this family, Ishida family, they live in Seattle. It's hard for me to meet in person, anyways. So Zoom was actually the one of the best opportunity to meet, and it was easy to meet every week. And Ishida family father, who is actually went to the same medical school that I went, and he didn't know me until he came, and I didn't know him either. But that was a miracle matching that, oh, you know this professor, or you know this teacher, oh, you went to, or you belong to one of the club that we know. And those are all the stories that we got more connected, even with Zoom. And Bible study weekly, and sometimes it's monthly. But I really went and know the family more, and it it won't it didn't happen if there was no COVID. So that was a great gift, even though COVID gave us a very hard time for everyone. Ishida family, Ishida-san is he's also a doctor researching at Hutchinson lab. And uh, my dream, uh, as just like a purpose of life, is to um, create more a Japanese doctor who follows Jesus. And that's my ultimate goal for my life. And he might be the first one. He could be baptized or uh, know Jesus from his heart. And I really wish that there will be more Japanese doctor who knows Jesus. And with a connection, he might be close. But it's been probably almost 1.5 years since we started this Zoom Bible study, and it's still continuing. And I feel there's the God's help and the power that He is giving to us. So we'll see how that goes. But it was a great opportunity, even though, yeah, COVID separated us a lot. But there's a lot of different connections that we were able to make. So something that I was thinking for Presby in the future is the uniqueness of being a Japanese church. And that's something that no other church has. And which means that we probably have responsibility to tell about Jesus and Bible and God to Japan and for Japanese people. And especially Japan is a very interesting country that Christianity or people who know Jesus is very, very slim. And even now, even despite all the work from pastors and church in Japan, there's only 1% or less. It's probably 0.8 or 0.9% of population who declares that they're Christian. I wonder if Presby can have a sister church in Japan and have like more exchange programs or have more connection to the Japanese people. And knowing each other, and we might able to go to Japan as a sister church and have them come to here, knowing more about us. And those connections over the sea might be very exciting. I know it's a COVID era and COVID challenges, so not in the near future. But I think we do have some power, capability, just looking at the members and how they're eager to learn and tell about Jesus. So that will be my dream sometime in the future. but yeah, we shouldn't be just in a cozy Seattle place. We might want to think big and have more connection with people. I think so. Well, there's a lots of people are connected. Taya family that I really got connected. It's more about more maybe individual kind of a connection that we made. But those, and, I wouldn't say tiny connection, but it's the knowing people makes a huge difference in your life. So that's what Presby brought to me and my family. So I really appreciate it.